Imagine waking up to the screech of chainsaws devouring your sanctuary at dawn, only to find your nosy HOA overlord grinning like she's just won the lottery of petty tyranny. What started as a shredded hedge spiraled into a neighborhood revolution, exposing corruption that made even the most jaded cynic cheer as the self-righteous masks crumbled. In the sleepy suburb of Willow Creek, Oregon, where manicured lawns hid simmering resentments, Alex Rivera thought he'd finally escaped the chaos of city life. He'd bought his modest ranch-style home 3 years ago, drawn by the promise of quiet evenings on his deck, cold beer in hand, watching the sun dip behind the Cascades. But peace? That was a joke in this HOA-governed enclave, where rules were holier than the Bible and enforced by Gladys Hargrove, the iron-fisted president who'd turned community standards into a weapon. Gladys, with her perfectly coiffed bob and pearl earrings, patrolled the streets like a self-appointed sheriff, clipboard in one hand, a saccharine smile masking her iron grip on power. Alex had always played by the book, or so he thought. He mowed his lawn weekly, recycled like a pro, and even volunteered at the annual block party. But whispers started circulating last summer. "Did you hear about that Rivera guy?" neighbors murmured at mailboxes. "Shady past. Probably hiding something behind that overgrown hedge." The rumors stung, painting Alex as some reclusive weirdo, maybe even a low-key criminal. He knew where they came from: Gladys, who'd once peeked over his fence during a routine inspection and spotted his eclectic backyard setup, a hammock, string lights, and a small veggie garden that didn't match her vision of uniform suburbia. Instead of confronting him directly, she spread the gossip like fertilizer, letting it grow wild while Alex bit his tongue, observing from the shadows, biding his time. One crisp Saturday morning, the assault began. Alex jolted awake to the guttural roar of power tools. He dashed outside in boxers and a tee, heart pounding, to find two burly landscapers hacking away at his 8-foot privacy hedge, the lush barrier he'd nurtured from saplings, shielding his yard from prying eyes and Gladys's judgmental glares. And there she stood, Gladys, arms crossed, supervising like a queen at an execution. "What in God's name is going on?" Alex barked, dodging falling branches. Gladys turned slowly, her smile as fake as her concern. "Oh, Mr. Rivera. Good morning. Your foliage exceeds the 6-foot limit per Covenant 4.1c. We're simply ensuring compliance for the greater good." Her voice oozed politeness, but her eyes gleamed with triumph. "Compliance? That's my property. You didn't even notify me." Alex shot back, his voice rising as a massive limb thudded to the ground, crushing his tomato plants. One worker glanced apologetically but kept sawing under Gladys's nod. "I sent a certified letter last month," she replied smoothly, waving a pink carbon copy. "Must have gotten lost in the mail, happens to the best of us." Alex snatched the paper. It was dated weeks ago, addressed correctly, but he hadn't received squat. "You walk your poodle past my house every damn day." Gladys couldn't spare a knock. She adjusted her sunglasses. "Procedure is procedure. Dear. We can't play favorites. Think of the children. Overgrown hedges could harbor pests." The irony burned. Her pests comment was a veiled jab at the rumors she'd started, implying Alex was the real infestation. By noon, the hedge was gone, leaving a jagged scar of stumps and debris across his yard. Neighbors gawked from windows, some smirking, others averting eyes. Alex stood amid the wreckage, fists clenched, as Gladys sauntered off with a cheery wave. Bill for cleanups in the mail, community beautification fee. That night, Alone on his barren deck. Alex seated. The hedge wasn't just plants, it was his buffer against the suffocating scrutiny. But Gladys had crossed a line. And in her smug enforcement, she'd awakened something in him, a calculated fury. He poured a whiskey, opened his laptop, and dove into city codes, HOA bylaws, and online forums riddled with HOA horror stories. If she wanted rules, he'd give her a masterclass in malicious compliance. The plan crystallized over coffee the next day. No more greenery, he'd build something unassailable, a 10-foot decorative fence, engineered to skirt every HOA nitpick while towering like a middle finger to Gladys's ego. He consulted a zoning expert friend, confirmed no height caps on non-structural privacy elements if set back properly, and hired a top-notch fencing crew. Permits in hand. Construction kicked off midweek. The whine of drills and clang of metal posts drew curious stares. But Alex worked alongside the crew, his silence a brewing storm. Gladys appeared on day 2. Her golf cart humming to a stop at his curb. She hopped out, heels clicking, face pinched like she'd bitten a sour grape. "Alex, what on earth is this monstrosity?" she demanded, gesturing at the rising steel frames. He wiped sweat from his brow, holding up the blueprints. "Privacy enhancement, Gladys. Fully permitted by the city, unlike your hedge massacre." Her lips thinned. "It looks like a junkyard barrier. This violates aesthetic harmony under Rule 9.3a. Alex chuckled dryly. Rule 9.3a applies to visible alterations. This is on my side. Painted to blend. Check your own bylaws, you wrote M. She huffed, scribbling furiously on her clipboard. "The board will review this. Expect a hearing." As she drove off, Alex muttered to the crew lead. Bet she didn't see that coming. Petty tyrants hate surprises. Word spread like wildfire. By week's end, the fence loomed tall, topped with subtle trellis for vines, making his yard a verdant fortress. Neighbors whispered, Rivera's fighting back. Some thumbs up from driveways, others, Gladys's loyalists, clucked tongues. But the real fun began when anonymous notes appeared in mailboxes. "Beware the recluse's wall, hiding secrets." Alex recognized Gladys's handwriting in the loops. He smiled inwardly. Installing discreet cameras around the perimeter. The smears were escalating. But so was his evidence file. Tension simmered into full boil at the monthly HOA meeting, held in the stuffy community hall under fluorescent lights that buzzed like angry bees. Gladys presided at the dais, gavel in hand, her board of yes-men flanking her. Alex arrived early, folder tucked under arm, blending into the sparse crowd. When open comments rolled around, a portly retiree named Hank grumbled about rising dues. Gladys dismissed him with a patronizing, "Budgets are tight. Hank sacrifices for standards." Then Alex stood, voice steady. "I'd like to address the unauthorized destruction of my property." Gladys's eyes narrowed. "Mr. Rivera, we've covered this. Your hedge was non-compliant." Murmurs rippled. Alex pulled out photos of the stumps. "Non-compliant by 2 feet? Yet you ignored protocol, no in-person warning. Just chainsaws at dawn." A woman in the back snorted. Gladys banged her gavel. "We followed procedure. And you're new. Eyesore? That's under review for visual nuisance." Alex slid a permit copy across the table. "Reviewed and approved by the city. But let's talk your trespass. My cameras caught board members snooping last night." He projected grainy footage, 2 figures. One unmistakably Gladys, probing the fence base under cover of dark. The room gasped. Gladys flushed crimson. That was a safety check. Uneven ground could trip joggers. Alex leaned in. Tone laced with sarcasm. At midnight? With flashlights and no notice? Sounds like harassment to me. A young mom piped up, my kid's swing set got fined for clashing colors, is that safety too? Laughter bubbled. Bitter and sharp. Gladys stammered. Order! This isn't a witch hunt. But the seed was planted. As Alex sat. Neighbors shot him nods, the first cracks in Gladys's facade. The backlash hit Gladys like a freight train. Fines arrived in Alex's mailbox, $500 for obstructive fencing, another $200 for disruptive construction noise. Ridiculous. All of them. Ignoring his permits. Rumors intensified, now Alex was anti-community, a troublemaker stirring division. Gladys rallied her clique at coffee klatches. Cooing. Poor dears. He's just bitter, probably from his mysterious past. But Alex didn't lash out. He documented everything. Enlisting neighbor Elena. A sharp paralegal who'd once clashed with Gladys over holiday lights. Together. They pored over HOA financials. Spotting anomalies, bloated administrative fees funneled to obscure vendors. One evening. Alex's cameras pinged. Footage showed Gladys and a crony planting something near the fence, a small canister. Suspicious and out of place. He called the cops' non-emergency line. Gloves on as he retrieved it, residue inside screamed accelerant. Attempted sabotage, the officer noted. Taking statements. Alex's blood boiled. But he played cool. Emailing the video to his growing ally network. Gladys's safety checks just got explosive, he quipped to Elena over phone. Her laugh was dark, she's unraveling, desperate to save her throne. The feud peaked when Gladys called an emergency board vote to condemn Alex's fence as a hazard. Flyers blanketed the neighborhood, protect our harmony, remove the barrier. But Alex countered with his own bulletin, demand transparency, audit the HOA now. Signatures poured in. Fueled by unearthed dirt, Gladys's nephew scoring no-bid contracts. Dues hikes funding executive retreats at spas. At the packed hall meeting. Gladys opened smugly. This structure threatens our values. Alex rose. Binder in hand. Threatens your scams. You mean? He revealed the financial discrepancies, $40,000 siphoned to shell companies tied to Gladys's family. Chaos erupted. Is this why my garage paint got denied? Yelled one man. Gladys pounded her gavel. Lies. We're guardians of order. But Alex played the sabotage footage. Guardians who plant fire starters. Explain that. Madam President. Her face twisted, first shock. Then fury. Veins bulging as she shrieked. You're ruining everything for personal vendetta. The crowd turned, boos. Demands for resignation. Elena stood, we've petitioned for a recall election. Your reign ends here. Gladys slumped. Mask shattered. As applause thundered. In the aftermath. The election swept in a new board, Alex as VP. Elena as treasurer. Audits exposed deeper fraud, embezzled funds for Gladys's personal luxuries. Fake fines pocketed. She faced charges, trespass. Attempted arson. Fraud, cuffed during a beautification walk, her pleas of misunderstanding falling flat amid neighbor jeers. The neighborhood exhaled. Dues slashed. Rules reformed. Alex's fence stood tall. A wry monument to resilience. Backyards buzzed with barbecues. Free from fear. But here's the twist that lingers, was Alex the hero for exposing the rot? Or just another player in the game of suburban power? You decide, was pushing back with walls and wit justified? Or did it make him as ruthless as the HOA he toppled?